you so much for having us here to talk about the project. We're super excited. So I'm not sure how many of you have seen or heard anything about the project. So I'm just going to kind of start with how it started. And I promised Delphine that I would tell the hot tub story. So I'm going to make sure I tell the hot tub story. So the project actually started pretty much when COVID hit, honestly. I think for everybody, it was a really uncertain time. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know what was going to happen in our businesses and our lives with our families. I mean, you name it, we had uncertainty with everything. And so when all of this happened, Jeff and I were having a conversation about, gosh, like this is really scary. And we have a lot of people who are elderly that can't go to the grocery store. And so maybe that's how it starts. Maybe it starts by just, running errands for people, going to the grocery store, picking up whatever they might need so they don't have to go out. And while that was amazing and it felt really good to be able to help neighbors and friends and family doing that, it just didn't really feel big enough to me. It didn't feel like I was making a big enough impact in my community. And that's really important to me and always has been. So Jeff and I were kind of talking about all of this. Todd and I talked about it on my coaching. And what we came up with was that I would donate 20% or up to $2,500 from every sale to the charity of my client's choice. So again, we kind of played with some different things. Do we just offer, a credit at closing that's helpful for, anybody who's buying or selling to just sort of have a little bit of extra cash? We toyed with all these different ideas, and what felt like made the biggest impact was letting everybody contribute to the local charity that they're passionate about. And so that's sort of how it started. And that night we put our little baby down and we were in the hot tub. And so we're having a glass of wine and we're in the hot tub and we're relaxing and we're talking more about this idea. And I have to give credit where credit is due because, that's only fair. But Jeff actually was the one who came up with the name, the project. And so we're in the hot tub, we're chatting about this, we're chatting about how we're going to do this and how we're going to execute it and how amazing it's going to be. And so we come up with the name, the project, and we loved it. And we were so excited about that. And then this hot tub session just turned into this like massive brainstorm session. So we're talking about, again, how we're going to execute this. And it got to the point where we were like, oh my gosh, what if someone else wanted to join the project and be part of this amazing cause? And what if, I have goosebumps just talking about it. And what if we could get 5 agents from every one of our offices to be part of the project? And holy cow, what an impact that would make in all of our communities, not just in Bozeman. And so, at one point, I think I said to Jeff, I'm like, holy cow, we got to get out of the hot tub. We got to go write this stuff down. We're going to forget all of this. And then we have nothing. So we get out, we hightail it out. We go and we write all this down. We're sitting at the kitchen counter, making all these notes. And before you know it, we record this great video about the project and what it's going to be. And we launch it and we start talking about it. And within a few days, the most amazing thing happened. And Delphine actually reached out and asked if she could be a part of this and what that would look like. And that was truly like my dream come true. I can't tell you how much it meant when she made that phone call to me to know that somebody else wanted to be part of this and give back to their community in such a substantial way. And we've seen agents do this before where it's, $100 or $200, which is great. But again, like we are making a massive impact with these donations to these different charities. And it's so spectacular. And so that's the story. That's how it started. And I just would love to have Delphine kind of jump in and talk a little bit about her experience with it and her kind of interest in becoming a partner with the project. So I'm going to pass it over to Delphine to talk a little bit about that.
Thanks, Kelsey. Great story. It's my favorite story. And for me, it was really through COVID, the community just needed a lot of support, a lot of help. But we also have amazing charities in Montrose and nonprofit that I didn't know who to pick. Anytime, you partner with certain companies you just don't know, you want to kind of dive in, make sure that the money goes where it's supposed to go. You want to make sure. And so when I heard about the project and I saw your video, which was phenomenal, it was exactly what I was looking for. It was more than the $100 here. I mean, we have realtors saying, I don't do gifts, but I do $100 to your charity of your choice. And I'm just like, okay, that's great. But through COVID, I was part of a community it was a county phone call every week that all of those nonprofit who were helping homeless people, who were trying to find places for them to take showers because all of their centers were closed and they were just in the streets and they had nothing. And so as I was part in giving my time, and part of that, I really realized that everybody stopped funding all of these associations when COVID hit. They had no money coming in. And as I saw your video, I was like, well, this is a way that I can impact it, but then I'm not the one choosing. That was a big deal for me. I liked the one that I wasn't, the part that I wasn't choosing. But then as I started implementing the project, it got so exciting. I realized that there was a lot more potential than we originally thought. Because although it's a great cause and we love what we do, a lot of people don't know who to donate. And that's where you and I were talking about the preferred charity that we can partner with. And that's been really successful for me. It makes even a bigger impact because if you say up to $2,500, but you have 5 of your buyers that say just pick or just, I'm good. And you can make this $3,500 donation to one cause, it makes even a bigger impact. And then look around your community. Some of these charities have a short period of time where they match your donation. So if you can kind of find those at that time, your impact is even doubled. And so it really got exciting for me to get started because as you partner with that, I realized I was really working on sharing. I'm a fairly new agent, as you know. I started on COVID. It was great, right in the middle of COVID. But as I started doing that, number one, I love it. And it really fills my bucket. And it makes me feel amazing about my community. And I love doing it. But number two, I would see people in the grocery store and say, oh my God, I saw what you did with Pure Kindness. And I love that so much. And I have this charity. How does it work? And I was like, well, if you know anyone who wants to buy and sell, you can absolutely send them to me. GoFundMe, somebody is having cancer and needs support. You get to pick. And
Exactly.
So I think sharing that message and making that impact for Kelsey and I, it was super important that it wasn't just 5%, 10%, but that we stuck with the 20%. And the project is really that commitment of making a massive impact. And I love that. And it's been amazing for me. Now I will say that you have to promote it. And I think this works really well, just so you know, you guys.
Yes, let's
This
see
is
it.
my deck.
Yes.
I have my branding. I have
it.
Football Banker branding. Even my dog is excited. But it's really something, every time I donate, I just go take a simple picture and make a simple video. And I do a little interview with the charity and I promote them and everybody gets so excited about it. So just make sure as you step in, it is an investment into your community. It really is. But the way it comes back to you is amazing. It's really not only that you're giving, but you feel so amazing and you develop those amazing relationships within your community that I don't think I could have found with marketing.
Yeah. And I think too, another, one little nugget that I love so much is that it's powerful for us because it's helping our community. But imagine what this client feels like who now gets to take this money and go and donate it to somebody that they also feel the same passion for. And we have a lot of people moving to Bozeman, right? Like a lot of people are coming here that don't know anything about Bozeman. They don't know anything about the charities. So being able to have, to move to a new community and immediately feel part of that community and that you're contributing to that community, I think it just speaks volumes about Bozeman in general and just Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties. Like this is what we do, right? We're here to change lives. And this was my way of doing so. And this is, I'm going to speak for Delphine and say that it's got to be the same for her.
That is such great information. I love that. I don't know if anybody has any questions about it, but I would love it if we could put more information maybe in the chat box or make sure people can see the video that you created. Love to know more about the different charities and how can our agents get involved? Do they reach out to you too? Maybe put your contact information in the chat box for them so they know.
For sure.
And just, how has the experience been as far as so far this year? How many charities have we impacted by you folks doing this?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I know, one big one for us has been Big Brothers Big Sisters in Bozeman. It's a really great cause. I mean, there's a million, but people tend to sort of feel really comfortable with Big Brothers Big Sisters. They know a little bit more about it. And I mean, we've donated well over $7,500 to Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I mean, that's huge. That's enormous. I mean, what that can give them. I think if I remember correctly, when we did an interview with Big Brothers Big Sisters, I believe $2,500 allows them to hire a big to be with a little for like an entire year. So I mean, imagine the impact you're making on that little's life. They now have a big for 1 year that Big Brothers Big Sisters can sustain. So it's been spectacular.
That's awesome. That is great. What about you, Delphine?
So I've donated about $6,500 throughout the year last year for my first year. And I started in April. And the ones that we partnered the most with has been Peer Kindness, which fights bullying and cyberbullying at school. And so for us, their goal was to be able to hire a youth counselor to go in the schools. And with COVID, they've been doing everything on Zoom. But it really helps, it really helps the local schools fight bullying, being more aware, and you actually involve the kids, and they call it Align with Kind, and the kids align with kind, be kind, and share kindness within their schools, and they get to volunteer and be involved. And so we've had Montrose High School here has one of the highest suicide rate in America, and so it was really needed in our community to help with suicide in general in high school. And so Pure Kindness just really focus on that and how youth struggle with social media, bullying, and all these things. And so it's really close to my heart because my son is 12 and he volunteers at Align with Kind. So it's really something that is close to my heart. And again, just because we had too many losses in Montrose, if we can save one life, that's all we want.
That's great. That is fabulous. I love that. And then have you all kind of set goals for this year as far as what you're thinking you might want to do, for the project as it's getting bigger? What are your goals for this year on that?
Yeah, I think my biggest goal is just to get more agents involved. I think that's how we spread this, and that's how we make it really amazing. And I have a really, really big, hairy goal of, donating $1 million to the project. And I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's my goal. And I want to throw a huge party and invite everybody that donated and everybody that was a part of it and just celebrate this amazing support for our community. So my big goal is $1 million to the project. And I would love to have any agent be part of this. So if you think that maybe this is a good fit for you, please reach out to me. I'll put my number in the chat box. Reach out to Delphine, ask her about her experience. Like she said, we know it's a big commitment. It's not just $100. It's substantial. It can be. And so, and there's some, boilerplate stuff in there too that we can talk about as far as, what the back end looks like, and, does the listing have to be for X% and things like that. I can walk everybody through all of those details and disclaimers and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, we would love to have anybody be part of this. And so if you think maybe that's something you want to do, I would love to talk to you about it.
Yeah. Fabulous. Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm here for any agent, who wants to say, how was it to just join and do it? Kelsey and I can help with graphics and really just being involved and helping you through it, because interviews, photos, and sharing the message is super important in the project. Kelsey actually said something that I believe Tara had told her in her training, is that you want to make sure it does work for you. It's amazing what we do and we love the impact, but it should work for you as well.
Yeah, very important, very important.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, I truly, truly appreciate you joining us today on Wire Wednesday. Great information. And remember, folks, reach out to them. They'll get you your information. If you need anything, you can reach out to any one of us. We can certainly get you in contact with whomever you need. And just know that we're here to help. Have a great rest of your week.
And join us in the project. Call us.
Join the project.
Absolutely. Join. Love it.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.